Radio contact with the outside.
Hey, what's up everybody? Spellcheck back here on Pole Dancer with the Dive Bomb Guardian build. Try to do a little bit further explanation. This is a complex class is the way it works, but let's get right into it. Okay, as you can see, my stats, not my gear yet. Not yet. Let's go back to stats. So my stats, like the rest of my characters, I'm not doing anything crazy. 8600 physical attack, 54 magical, not too, decent defense, M defense, whatever. Yeah, like I said, I'm wearing Sayatara. Orange Sayatara. I got a good trad, but I've got a mix of recurrence and God Slayer, but I'm probably either gonna go all recurrence or maybe even recurrence and spiritual just to boost the HP MP region and everything. So this is my page 1 stats. As you can see here, like I said, always just pause it if you need to see closer. My page 2 ability points where I put in, and I'll go into why I've picked what I picked a little bit later, just to give you a better idea of what I'm focusing around with this build. But there's a lot of good stuff about this. Okay, so this is my dive bomb build. I got 2 modifications of this. This is for like places like tower, where you want to knock them up, because if not, they're going to spam you to death with those cross slashes. So this is the one that I use in just regular purpose, like any other thing, any other dungeon where they can't stun you to death or get you locked in the middle of them and spam you to death. I put the different ability in slot 2, but yeah, both of them are quite effective. It's a fairly simple combo. You get in there, you get your flag down first to get that attack buff, and then you just get to diving on their ass. Just dive, and I've missed. There we go. And those dives do damage. With the flag up and everything, those dives do damage. Well, for a guardian anyway, they do damage. But yeah, this is a beautiful little, I love to spam your attack when you press that button, and it's just combo city all day. But yeah, you can actually keep people up in the air quite a bit. And on my ability bars, you'll notice that most of my first slots on the ability bars are things that are going to switch you from offense to defense and make them toggle or juggle. So it's really good at keeping things like I said, in tower, where they can spam those moves on you. If you can keep them up in the air, guess what they can't do? They can't spam cross pressure on you. So that's Guardian's best defense, is to juggle them. So here's my my juggler build. So this is basically just to keep things juggled. It works great for FMs and stuff like that too. Fairly low cooldowns on the first slot of all my abilities, and you bob back and forth between offensive and defensive, what you want to do. Because like I said, you'll get quick heals, and your HP and your MP will stay fairly topped off the whole time while getting extra attack power. So you get in there, get them up in the air. And the thing about that first combo too, that dive into the knock-up, the uppercut move, is that dive will always pull them right in front of you. It will always put them right in front of you to do the knock-up. So that move doesn't get used often by most people because it's a really short range knock-up. But with that kick dive or whatever that move is, it always puts them in front of you. So it's really nice to use that in a combo together. You'll see it across a lot of my builds, like the same one. Jump in, dive, knock up on the first ability bar, because that dive, if you watch on the next demonstration, it's going to put them in front of you every time. This is my balance build, by the way. This is if you need a yellow flag or a blue flag, it gives you the option to weave them in between whichever one you need. So if you're fighting a boss or you're fighting a mob that can't be knocked down but can knock you up, go ahead and pop that yellow flag. But boom, puts them right in front of you, just like I said. Get them up in the air, and I accidentally hit emotes and shit. Oh well, get them up in the air. Dive, get him up in the air, get a flag in his face. Yeah, anyway, you see the dive bomb. It's all about diving on their face, because if they're knocked up in the air, or if you're doing that, if you're in the animation of jumping, you can't be knocked down or stunned or anything like that either. So it's good to be in the middle of those animations, because it keeps you mobile as well. But yeah, pretty much that first ability bar setup is quite lovely against mobs that can be juggled, that can be stunned, that can be pulled. Bosses, I switch it up back to the dive bomber, where I'm not too much worried about juggling. I'm just about doing that damage. All right, so these abilities are the ones that I got this because I needed another option at one point in time to get out of defensive. This is good. It maxes out at like 10%, I believe, reduced damage, and it's good for your party, but I'm not using it right now because I focused around flags and everything at the moment. It's good to use before big boss hits or something like that. Meteor Impact is one of your biggest damaging moves between this. The other dive I showed you, this move right here, if you invest in it, it hits really hard. This also, your charge, if you invest in it, hits really hard as well. These are what's going to be giving you your attack boost. So it's going to increase your attack by 16% at 3.4% increase on your HP consumption per move. So you're going to be using a lot more HP, but you get a lot of attack power for it. Now, the defense stance upgrade is going to eat a ton of your mana. 8% healing for 8% mana consumption. Now your flag maxes out at a 5% mana restoration. So you're going to be losing an extra 3% you can't gain back. That being said, you only want to pop in a defensive stance quickly and get out of it when you need a heal. Now this yellow flag, you're going to want to max this out if you plan on doing any kind of gates, because that's what they need for gate. They need that yellow flag. So you might as well go ahead and invest in it now if you plan on doing anything with yourself. This buff is what I'm going to show you here in a second. This is every time you switch between offensive and defensive stance, you're getting another buff, a stack of a buff that stacks up to 45 times. But it maxes out at 30% increase. So you definitely want to be popping in and out of buffs. And this right here is anytime you're around your flag, you get an extra 25% attack power, which is why you want to see, like on my moves, I like getting my flag down as fast as possible. I got my spear practice in and I got my mastery in for both of those for physical attack. So I'm trying to get a good balance between offensive and defensive here. I maxed my defensive shield as well. So as you saw, but see if I get in here, hold on, I'll pop into defense, I'll put my flag down. So now you can see, if I go to my stats, that I've got the extra 3.6 from changing stance once, and I got the 25% because my flag's down. So we'll just speed through this real quick, blah, blah, blah. And as I'm doing this, like, I can't stress enough, even if you get stuck in a stance, just use your little ability down below the attack button to switch stances. You don't have to wait for a move if you have cooldowns, which you shouldn't with this build, but I'm up to 12.6 now. Still got my buff because the flag's there. So this just keeps stacking. That's why I find it so important on those first abilities to have ways to weave in and out of attack and defense, because those stacks are adding up. Plus, I mean, it's just nice to bounce people all over the damn place. But speed through it. Now I'm up to what, 20.4. So that's on top of the 25%. So you're almost at 50% just from weaving your stacks and everything like that. And I think yeah, no, it's still going. You got to be careful because it'll drop off sometimes. So I'm up to 11,562. Now, if you remember at the beginning of the video, I was at like 8,600 attack power or something like that. So 11,000, it's increasing your attack power crazy, crazy. So I'm just bouncing them all over the place right now, trying to get this buff up a little bit higher. Like I said, it'll max at 30. So boss fights, the long duration, this helps. I'm at 28.2, and it just dropped off. God darn it. But yeah, that's the thing. If you wait too long of a gap between switching stances, it'll drop. It'll drop. And now I'm back down to 4.2. But that's why I stress my moves, the first abilities being things that can pull me in and out of offense and defense, because I'm stacking that attack as much as I can. See, I'm down to 10, 4, 6, 7. That's only because I had the flag up. Well, that's enough chit chat. It's time for a practical demonstration in Expert Tower. By the way, I hate that place. Do not get caught in their cross/slash spam. Jesus Christ.
Here comes the danger up in this club. When we get started, man, we ain't gon' stop. We gon' turn it out till it gets too hot. Everybody sing, hey, yo. Tell them turn it out till they can't no more. Let's get this thing shaking like a disco ball. This is your last warning, a courtesy call. Hey, yo. Here comes the danger up in this club. When we get started, man, we ain't gon' stop. We gon' turn it out till it gets too hot. Everybody sing, hey, yo. Tell them turn it out till they can't no more. Let's get this thing shaking like a disco ball. This is your last warning, a courtesy call. I am not afraid of the storm that comes my way. When it hits, it shakes me to the core and makes me stronger than before. It's not a question about trust, but we I think it might wash away tonight. Awaken from this never-ending fight. It takes more than meets the earth. This war we're fighting is not just riding. Hey yo, here comes the danger up in this club. When we get started, man, we ain't gon' stop. We gon' turn it out till it gets too hot. Everybody sing, hey yo. Tell them turn it out till they can't no more. Let's get the stage shaking like a disco ball. This is your last warning, a courtesy call.